Hey again, everyone. It's Chris from Once Upon a Turnbuckle podcast, back with another edition of Go Figure, the new series that will chronicle my journey back into the exciting world of wrestling collecting and action figure collecting, more specifically, wrestling action figure collecting. Now, before we get into looking at what gems I've added to the collection this week, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, tell your friends while you're at it so that you can all enjoy any future episodes of this or the podcast itself. Now, if you've done that, let's roll the credits. First and foremost, this week, I just want to thank everyone who's taken the time to view the first episode, like it, comment on it, share about it. It was a little bit of an experiment. I wasn't sure really if it would take off, if people would be interested. I'm really doing it for the love of it, for myself. It's something I've always wanted to do, and so glad I've finally got around to firstly getting back into collecting, because it really is something that I've always enjoyed doing. And it's good to have people that want to learn about it and want to hear about it. So thank you to everyone. Please continue spreading the word if you do enjoy what's going on the channel, particularly with this Go Figure feature. Then just keep telling everyone about it, really. So what have I been able to add to the collection this week? Have I been busy? I've been a little bit busy. I've been a bit busier than I thought I was going to be at this stage of the month, because giving yourself a monthly budget, you kind of want to take it slow, but that hasn't been the case for me this time. I probably have spent up what I can afford for this month already, but hopefully I've got some good stuff in here to show you. One of the first things that I got, something that hadn't arrived by the time I did the first video, but I knew I'd got it, so just waiting for him to arrive. So last time when I showed you the core of the Galoob collection that I've been able to secure, which I didn't say last time, actually I bought it as it's a customizers bundle it was advertised as, so that's why it had a little bit more wear to some of them than probably others would have sought out, but it meant that I could get a big batch of figures to start with, and as we saw, some of them actually were in really good condition. I'm really happy with what I've got so far, so I was pleased to find another edition so quickly, really, and one that I knew that I would have to get at some point. So adding to the two stings that I showed last week, we got the blue tights, we've got the orange tights, we now have the black tight yellow boot stinger from Series 2. It's one of the UK exclusives. And as you can see, again, usual signs of play wear and everything, but, and the spot that goes on all of them. A bit of a chunk out of his foot as well. In terms of a starting point for the collection, this is a really, really good one. I'm actually quite pleased with the condition I've been able to get this one in. It was really just about getting that third sting, having then to be able to say I've got all the stings in the collection, is a big thing. This was one, apart from the blue tight sting, this was the only other one that I did see when I was growing up. I think this is the one my cousin had, actually. I always preferred this one. I thought the black tight and the black and the yellow goes really well. And I don't know, it's just something about the black tights rather than the brightly coloured ones, which really pops on this one. So there we go. So we have all three stings from the Galoob collection. Again, down the line, might be able to swap some of these out for ones with slightly less wear, but for the moment, that's another one off the list. Now, in addition to Sting, to say we've got all three stings now, there was one other that I was able to lay my hands on this week that I mentioned in the first episode that would have been one of those. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take me to be able to find one, let alone be able to get one within budget. And I spotted a couple of listings. I wasn't sure whether to pull the trigger on either of them, and then decided actually it was probably one of them was too good an opportunity to pass up. So to be able to stand here right now and say that I've got this one at this early stage is a bonus to me, because this is a figure that I never knew there was one when I was growing up of this guy. It's one I found out later on after I'd stopped collecting and got rid of my original collection, but one I knew that I would want to add at some point fairly early on if I could, when I started collecting again. So let's go over to the cutting desk, as it were, see what we've got. That. You're right. Butch Reed. Hacksaw Butch Reed. The elusive one. I mean, I say elusive mainly because, like I say, I never saw him as a kid. Wasn't in any of the shops. I needed to do a little bit of research as to whether Butch Reed was Series 1 or Series 2. There seems to be differing opinions. I have been advised it was just Series 1, and that the difference was the red swoosh here, which I believe this actually means it's one of the earlier releases of Butch Reed, because they released with the red swoosh on the trainers, and then I think they weren't able to trademark or whatever. They weren't able to continue with that, so they needed to remove the swoosh. So the other ones, I think it was either a grey one, or there's variances out there possibly where there isn't a swoosh at all, but able to actually get my hands on one with the red swoosh, which this means this is one of the earlier releases, Series 1. I'm not even bothered about the wear on it. Again, a little bit goes like it does with Ron Simmons, on the hair and that. Usually kind of scuffs around the chains. Hopefully you can see that properly. In great condition. I would class this in great condition. Honestly, the rubbed butt of doom, as it were. But even that, I'm so happy to have this one in the collection already, and to have Doom I love Doom as a tag team. Big tag team advocate, especially back in the late 80s, early 90s. Doom and the Steiners had some of the best matches when I was growing up. I love that. But so to actually say we've got a Butch Reed, we've got a red swoosh Butch Reed, and our first WCW title belt, because I've not had any of those with any of the others yet. So another massive tick off the list. But also this means then that Series 1 is complete. I've got one of all of the guys that were in the original US 12, as I think I've heard them called, the original 12 guys in the line. So big tick in the success box this week. Now for the final item the final few items to show you, they're all in the same vein. I've got to give a big shout out to the guy who's made this happen. He's also someone who I've met in the WCW Galoobs Facebook group. If you're not part of it, if you're interested in the line, you're a collector and you're not in it yet, go find it. Such a great community, and there's guys on there who's sharing their collections, helping each other out. If there's guys out there that know there's some of these really sought after pieces, they know where to find them. It's such a great community for getting together and helping each other with our collections. And JJ from the WCW Galoobs Facebook group, massive thumbs up to you, sir. I know we've been messaging quite a lot. We found that actually we've got a lot in common. We've both got a great appreciation for WCW, especially this kind of era, the early 90s era, the Galoob era, as it were. And he's managed to hook me up with something, again, wasn't on my radar. It's not an action figure, but it's definitely something that, as a WCW fan and a 90s WCW fan, I needed once I knew that he had these available. Let's return over to the desk and let's take a look. So what has JJ hooked me up with? Of course, the Impel WCW trading cards, released in 1991. I mean, look at these things. This just screams 90s wrestling, does it not? Especially this era in WCW. Bright colours, you know. I collected the WWF trading cards, the classic, the blue line, the classic line, when I was a kid. I never saw these. I don't know. They were obviously available over here, but I don't remember ever seeing them. Certainly didn't have any. But yeah, look at these. You got the pictures on the front. Great pictures, and then on the back of each of them. So here's just number 13 for Sting. Here it tells you a bit about him. I think on the back of each of these cards, there's about sort of 10 or so, I think, roughly, for each star that is featured, and it tells you a bit about on the back. So you've got the likes of Sting, just to go through a few of them. Sid Vicious, Sid Vicious, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Lex Luger. The list goes on and on. All the classics that you had there. There's a great one of the Nature Boy with the world title around his waist. How about Arn Anderson, Flying Brian? To all the yellow ones, all the single stars. This is another thing I love about it. And then you get the red ones, which are all the tag teams. Great shot there of Doom with the tag team titles. How about my favourites, the Steiner brothers. So in all, JJ let me know about these, because we were having a chat and I had shown him the Galoobs, the start of my collection, and he had mentioned that he had these as spares. So obviously I couldn't turn them down. So in all here, we've got just over 100 cards, I think there was. I have noted down all the missing ones. There's 162 in the line. Goes up to number 160, which I think was Missy Hyatt, because you go to the managers here. We go to the Greens. Actually, you got Teddy Long, Jim Ross, Missy Hyatt. There we go. Now I think 160. This one here. That's the last one in the line. The other two are two checklists to cover the whole line, to show you who each number and who each number is, so you can tick them off. I've got about just over 50, I think, to complete the set. I wasn't in the market for a trading card collection at this point in time, but not going to turn it down. I've even bought a nice folder to put them in, so that I can properly keep them safe, and then at some point add to them. I'm not sure. I haven't looked to see how much these are going for, each of them, but I've got all the ones I need noted down. So fingers crossed, as well as the actual action figure line, I may well have a WCW Impel trading card collection going on as well. If you have any that you're looking to get rid of, surplus to requirements, or where I might be able to track some of these down at a reasonable price, let me know in the comments, or get me on my Instagram or Facebook pages, and I'll be really happy to try and add more to this. So look at that. So to follow up the makings of our WCW Galoob action figure line, we have the makings of the WCW trading cards as well. Now, JJ, being the man he is, very generous. He had some other gems to offer me as well at the same time, which again I just could not turn down. How about, to go alongside the WCW cards, how about some rare NWA trading cards, starting with this one here, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Just telling you what else is in the line there. Great one there. How about these ones? Dusty Rhodes. So heading into WrestleMania, or heading into sort of WrestleMania time now, where the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, is headlining another WrestleMania. How about his dad, the American Dream? Oh wait, see you again. These are more just kind of logo cards, no picture, but they're logos. I loved back when wrestlers had logos, like this. It tells you a bit about them there. And then to go alongside him, how about WWE, Hall of Fame 2025 inductee Lex Luger had an NWA card as well. And there you go. I love this because as big a fan as I am of WCW, obviously, if you're a fan of WCW, coming with that is NWA. And it's one of the things that I love keeping up with these days is the NWA and the fact that they're back. They're fully functioning. They've got all the old title belts. It's got the old studio feel to their TV programs again. Really takes me back to these glory days. So having a piece of NWA history here, in my eyes, pretty damn cool. So how about that for a week's worth of work so far? Not bad going. I've got a couple of other bits as well that are in the post yet to arrive. So next week, I know I've already got some exciting stuff to show you that's going in the collection. So just to summarize, we've got the black tight yellow boot Sting from Series 2 for the Galoob line. That's the three main Stings. As I say, that's 3 of the 4 Stings that they made. We've obviously got the entrance gear Sting still to come. That was the UK exclusive. How about Butch Reed? That was a big personal tick for me. That was one that I didn't know if I was going to be able to track down very easily. Certainly not as easily as I've managed to get hold of him. And for it to be, the one with the red swoosh as well, for me personally, is that's a big tick in the win column. And then the WCW trading cards as well, and the NWA, those rare NWA ones to add in there as well. I would be more than satisfied to say that is all the exciting stuff this week. But there's one thing that I've been holding back, which I think is one of the coolest items. I didn't think, again, that I would be able to have, especially at this stage. Thanks to JJ again, when we were discussing trading cards, he found one that he said he forgot he had, and came up for, he offered it to me in with all the others, and I had to have it. So now this is one that isn't going to be going in the folder with all the others, because we are talking about number 11. This is another Sting card. But how about a signed Sting WCW trading card? I didn't think I'm not probably going to get anywhere anytime soon to be able to meet him to get his signature. So anything with his signature on, especially something as classic and retro as this, that sits proudly at the front of my Galoob collection there. What an item. Signed Sting trading card. And this is week 2. So what else have we got yet to come? There's a lot of good stuff to share, hopefully, in the next episode, if it all turns up. And then where I go beyond there, success may start slowing down, because we are starting to really start to get into the rarer stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what the next few weeks hold and next few months hold. But if you're enjoying this so far and you want to see where my collection takes me, then please continue to subscribe to the channel, get those notifications so that you know when a new video is out. Check out the Once Upon a Turnbuckle podcast as well. Along the series, if you're not familiar with it, I've been able to talk to guys such as PN News, Duke the Dumpster Drosy. Most recently, I spoke to Just Incredible, B. Brian Blair, Sam Houston, loads of other guys that have in and around the wrestling industry today and yesteryear. So please do continue to follow Go Figure. Check out the Once Upon a Turnbuckle podcast as well. This week's new episode for Once Upon a Turnbuckle, I get to sit down with the stallion Chris Bronson, one of the premier UK and British professional wrestlers on the indie scene. So that was a great chat that I had with him just last night. So that'll be coming out on Friday this week. So hopefully you'll be seeing this before then. If you do, be looking forward to that. And please do continue to join me on this journey. And I'll see you next week.
If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Once Upon a Turnbuckle to keep updated about all future shows.